Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Mat Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
The city of San Antonio, Texas, is considering passing a very controversial ordinance. It's going through several phases. And right now we are privileged to have Pastor Steven Branson from the Village Parkway Baptist Church right outside of San Antonio joining us by Skype. Welcome to Faith and Freedom, Pastor Branson.
Thank you. It's a privilege and honor to be with you.
Now, we've got an ordinance that started off there. It's gone through some changes, but one of the things that was in this ordinance at one time was that if you have a bias with regards to homosexuality, you couldn't even serve on the city council, I believe. And some of that has been changed, but there's some other issues that are still in effect. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we got word of this about a month ago. It was kind of quietly going through, and somebody in the city government got it out and handed it to one of the pastors, which got us meeting and talking about all of this. And in it was wording, and that's whenever I kind of went public with what I've been doing, was the fact that if you ever had one moment in your life in which you had demonstrated a bias, either by word or deed, you would no longer be allowed to serve in a city of San Antonio city council or any capacity. We have over 700 people in San Antonio that serve on commissions and they volunteer their time. They could be removed from office. The language was very strong, very punitive in everything that was in it. Now, evidently, Councilor Banal, I was supposed to be on the radio television show with him last Thursday. He didn't come, but he has been meeting with a couple of other pastors in the area, and he has pulled some of that wording out. I've not seen it yet, but it is on the front page of our newspaper this morning. But I still have trouble with the ordinance, and the reason is there's still punitive damage, especially for the business community, because it still will have in there that if you have any of these biases, anything, you can lose contracts. And a lot of my people do business with the city, and so I'm still opposed to the ordinance because I don't think I think it opens a whole new area of discrimination back towards believers.
Well, let's move out the contractor provision for just a second. I want to come back to that. But even if it is just a plain sort of vanilla kind of non-discrimination on sexual orientation or gender identity, the problem that has ultimately resulted in is, number one, historically around the country, those provisions are not needed, and I don't think that it's needed in San Antonio. And so, secondly, you have to ask yourself the question: why are they putting that in there if it's not if there's not this rampant open discrimination? Well, they're putting it in there to promote an ideology, and it is those kinds of pieces of ordinance or legislation that ultimately result in bigger and more egregious kinds of actions by the government. And that collides directly with Christians and other people of faith and moral values. So that's a problem that I have across the board with these kinds of laws. Now, in your case, even though perhaps the provision is being modified that you can still serve in a government capacity, the provision about contractors or subcontractors is still there. And that means that if you've had any bias in your past, you can't contract or be a subcontractor in any relationship with the city of San Antonio.
That's true, and it opens up all kinds of possibilities. And kind of going back to what you were just saying a second ago, though, this is a story that I can't go into a lot of detail, but I have a church member who yesterday came to me and let me know that on Friday, he serves in the United States Air Force. He lost his job. He was fired. And it doesn't kick him out of the Air Force, but it moved him out of his particular area because of this new view in the Air Force. And he had defended a young airman, and in doing that, he had violated the sense of of what the Air Force now holds towards gays, and it's cost him his career. He's one of the finest men I have ever met, great family. I'm not at liberty to give much more detail, but there is still open ordinance, a lot of danger for people of faith. Yeah, and it's being used against them. So you can take the wording out, but they added just enough that it will be punitive in the days to come.
No question about it. I mean, that's the ultimate agenda of this, and we're seeing this happen. Pastor Branson, sorry for the person in your church, and anything that we can do or help in providing any other resources or connections for this individual who served his country with honor, we'd be happy to do it. But we're seeing this around the country as well. People are having this kind of resistance in the military, and the military is becoming this brainwashing kind of one-size-fits-all with regards to homosexuality. You either get in line or you get out. Now, one of the things that has recently developed, which is surprising to me, is I guess that there's some prominent pastor that is now reportedly going to come out and side with the ordinance. Tell us about that.
Yeah, John Hagee, yesterday in his pulpit in both his services, announced that he would be supportive of the ordinance. Since they'd taken out the wording on the bias indeed, and he is, according to the San Antonio Express News, he is taking credit for changing the wording of that. And so he will now support the ordinance since they took out the part of punitive as far as being in the city council or any office like that. And so that he's on the radio even now as I'm speaking. And so I'll find out a little bit later what all he's saying. But what I also want to put in there is that the San Antonio Express News also said the Justice Foundation was supportive of this, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. But before I joined you just a minute ago, I've gotten word through Alan Parker that he did not support this, and he has no idea what Hagee's doing. So I'm waiting for word on that, on what's unfolding behind the scenes with that. So again, right now, the San Antonio Express News is stating that John Hagee is publicly supporting all of this, and he did it from his pulpit yesterday morning.
Well, I appreciate all the great work that John Hagee does. I consider him a friend, and I appreciate the work that he may have done behind the scenes. I know others were doing that too to get this other provision out of there about you can't serve in the city council or any other volunteer position. But that is one skirmish of a bigger battle. And if this ordinance is still in existence, and clearly if it has the provision about contractors, I don't know why you declare victory and decide to support this. To me, that's a wrong decision. And certainly we stand 100% behind you, Pastor Branson, and others for opposing this. This has no business being put in any shape or form in the city ordinance at all.
I agree with you 100%, and that's why I've been doing what I've been doing. I think it opens up down the road. Now, I will tell you, I found it interesting. I did an interview last week. I was on Fox News, and immediately after that was on, I got a call from the mayor's office. So on Thursday, I had been invited down to the city council to say the prayer for the opening of the city council. I've never been extended that offer, and I know they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it so they show that they're not going to be punitive in all that they do. And so since I've been vocal, they have invited me down. Wasn't certain I was going to do it, but I decided to do it. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to stand with my head held high, and I'm going to lift the name of Christ up in the best way I possibly can. And I'm going to pray that God gives these people wisdom to be able to do their jobs. So it's an interesting back and forth, all that's going on here in the city. I will tell you that our opposition has helped that we've done this. It quietly went through some of the other major cities in Texas. Nobody said anything. Yeah. But I've been doing some checking, and I know through sources that are working with me and giving me information, nobody knew it passed in all the other cities. Yeah. And it was quietly done, and I think it would have happened here if somebody had not gotten word out like they did, and some of us began to stand up and say, hey, what's going on here? And it has slowed the process down dramatically. And I'm still hoping more changes will come that will be beneficial to the city of San Antonio. You know, people have the right to have rights, and I'm not against that at all. In fact, I have family members that are gay. I have friends that are gay. We disagree on certain things about that lifestyle, but I still love my family members. I'm not somebody who's filled with hate or anything else. But you don't want to put it in terms of elevated in terms of a preferred position with regards to an ordinance. I don't know. Our guest is Pastor Steven Branson, and he is the pastor of the Village Parkway Baptist Church right there in San Antonio. And thank you for joining us on Faith and Freedom, and thank you for being a voice. And we'll continue to report on your efforts down there, and our prayers and anything that we can do are certainly behind you. Thank you much. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Pastor Steven Branson, and one of the great leading voices down there. And this is, you go back into the American Revolution, this was what pastors did. They spoke truth to their community. And I want to thank Pastor Branson for doing that. Our prayers are with him, and certainly we're going to continue to keep you involved. And also, we are going to work to oppose that ordinance there as well. For more information, go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. That's lc.org. You can also call us toll-free 1-800-671-1776. Sign up on the lc.org website for the Grassroots Action email. That'll keep you involved, and that'll give you an opportunity to have a voice in this and other issues.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.